Okay, it's currently 9:13 a.m. and although it's very early for me to make such a video, I think a lot of people need to hear this because I think and I know that a lot of people can benefit from what I'm about to say. Now, I've been able to manifest $14,000 from one singular person alone. I got one person. I manifested one person who paid me $14,000. Now, the way I came across my manifestation abilities wasn't through books or wasn't by going on YouTube or TikTok. I actually found out about manifestation from a friend. And at the beginning, I used to think it was kind of witchcrafty. I used to think that you would have to sell up candles and summon something in order to materialize something that's clearly not present in your life. Now, my friend who introduced me into the concept of manifestation, she used to have a crush on a guy who happened to be her brother's friend. And every time she tried to take action to get his attention, it came to a complete halt. It never worked. He never looked at her. He never cared because in his mind, that's his friend's sister. So how can a friend, do such thing to his friend? Well, it was actually his best friend at the time. They actually fought and they had many physical fights, and I used to watch a lot of them and I have many recordings, but I'm not going to show them. But one day I believe she came across manifestation either on TikTok or a book or YouTube. I don't know how she came across manifestation. I really never got into it that much, but she believed at the time that writing down affirmations on a piece of paper is the best way to manifest something. And so it was. She came up with specific affirmations. She wrote it down on a piece of paper, and I don't know what she did with the paper. She could have burnt it. She could have kept it under her bed. I don't know what she did with the paper. And one night we had a gathering at my friend's place. Friend calls us up, me and my friends, and he goes, listen, my mother's out of the place. She gave me the approval to host a gathering. We say, heck yeah, we've got nothing else to do throughout the weekend, may as well go. We go to the gathering, and it's just more of a chill night. Everybody's sitting, floating around, doing whatever. And she was sitting on the couch by herself. And while I'm floating around and other people are just having some drinks and whatnot, out of the blue, she screams out of the top of her lungs, Anastasia! Anastasia is her best friend. We're like, what the heck? She goes and shows Anastasia, her best friend, her phone, and it's the guy that she's been trying to manifest texted her. I remember that it said, hey, I need to talk to you. Can we meet tonight? If so, let me know and I'll pick you up on my quad bike, because he had a quad bike that he always rode around in. So he's like, listen, I'm gonna pick you up at night when we're not out anymore with our friends. And by the way, I got that story not directly from her, but from her best friend, because her best friend is dating my best friend. So she told her boyfriend, my best friend, and my best friend, her boyfriend, told me. And although I came to the concept of manifestation through her, I never really took action on it. Not until 2021 came by, when I was sitting on my bed and I was scrolling through TikTok like any other normal person would, and I came across a video of a girl saying, repeat these 7 affirmations for the next 7 days and watch your life change completely. And I remembered that my friend manifested through affirmations. So I was like, yes, it's about time I do something with my life. I repeat the 7 affirmations each and every single day before I go to bed, thinking that on the 7th day I'm gonna wake up and magically just be abundant and prosperous. But little did I know, it meant absolutely nothing. It didn't get me any results. It didn't improve my life in any way, shape, or form. And I was like, okay, yeah, my friend did witchcraft to get that boy that she's wanted for so long. But that being said, even though the affirmations didn't work, I still fell in love with manifestation. I would say videos, repeat affirmations each and every single day. In my mind, I'm like, the more I keep doing it, the faster my subconscious mind will be reprogrammed, the faster it will come to fruition. I always focus about the mind, and that is a big problem. I'm gonna get into that. However, one night, we go to a sleepover at my friend's place, the friend who manifested her dream guy. She invited her best friend, and her best friend invited her boyfriend, and her boyfriend invited me. So it was the 3 of us having a sleepover at her house. And we were having a chat, and then the topic of the guy came up. And then my best friend goes, so wait, how did you manifest him? Did you do witchcraft? Did you set up a candle? She's like, what do you mean no? She's like, I just wrote words down on a piece of paper. She's like, how does that work? She's like, I don't know how it works. I just know it will every time I do it. I don't really understand that. That really gave me no guidance whatsoever. What do you mean you know it will work? Like, what is the answer? How can I benefit from this? How can I implement it myself? The night goes by and I'm still on my manifestation journey, trying to figure it out. Repeating affirmations in my brain, screaming affirmations to the mirror, thinking I'm doing something. And at some point, I fell in love with the idea of reading esoteric books. Every book that talked about the inner world and manifesting and materializing something, I fell in love with it and I read it. If I didn't read it, I would listen to audiobooks around it. If I didn't listen to audiobooks around it, I'll watch YouTube videos around it. I delved into spirituality so deep that it was literally the only thing that was on my mind each and every single day. It's the only thing that I really cared about. I didn't care about my studies, I just cared about my inner world and manifesting. And if there's one thing that I learned during my time reading that, is that there has to be a mind and heart connection. And the only way you can do that is through specific practices to follow on a day-to-day basis. So I decided to follow these specific practices, and it had to do with a lot of mental work, a lot of mind and body awareness. A lot of work had to be put in to establish mind and heart connection in their stillness, so then anything becomes easy to manifest just like that. And I kept following these practices on a day-to-day basis, not trying to manifest something, but with the sole focus of just establishing the connection between mind and heart. However though, May of 2022, an event took place in my family that was so disturbing that literally set me back in life a lot. At that point, I was so emotionally frustrated. I didn't know what I was gonna do. And here's the thing, I had to figure things out and build something on my own, or else I'm screwed and I have no future. Of course, one of them being, well, it was the main thing, making money. I needed to make money one way or another. So before I decided to take any action on trying to make money, I first went back to my mind-heart connection, working on myself, so nothing can really disturb me, because whatever I give more emotional energy to, it grows. So I had to focus on waking up in reality, realizing that anything bad that happens, I should let it go, not react. I also had to let go of importance and I had to do a bunch of other things. When I established that and made it my new habit, instead of me consciously doing it, it became an unconscious habit. And when that was established, then I could go and try to build something on my own. And one night I was scrolling through TikTok like a normal person would. I mean, who doesn't? And I came across a video of a guy saying, listen, we're looking for outbound salespeople to hire for our suit company. In the job description, they said, listen, we only select a handful of people, so you have to be good. Problem is, I had no experience, but my heart was telling me, apply now. I don't know what it is, and I applied. Best believe 3 days later, I was on a call getting trained by somebody so they could place me on the job. I stayed on that job for 3 months. Now you may say, why 3 months only? It's because after those 3 months, I had an awakening that I'm meant for more and I need to make more money. The first month of me being on the job, I made $38.50, and by month 3, I made $5,300. A lot of money, but that's not how I made my $14,000. Because fun fact, after leaving the job, not only did I burn through all of my money, but I also had to support my father a lot with his current situation. Now by then, I knew that I could make a lot of more money because I manifested an opportunity that made me $5,000 in a single month. So this time, I raised the bar. I was like, I want to make $10,000 to $15,000, anywhere between that. And I thought about it time and time again, not just in here, but in here. I felt it in here. What am I gonna do with that $15,000? What am I gonna buy? Who am I gonna help? What would that make me feel? Why will that make me feel good? How does it feel to see that money in my bank account? That's how I kept going about my day each and every single day. I would walk around to the point that I literally felt like I actually had $15,000 in my bank. Bear in mind, I had $700. But then one day I was on YouTube and I came across a guy talking about the best way to make money. And I'm like, okay, I've came across these videos multiple times, but something about this video pulled me in. Something about this video told me, it's like, listen, watch it. My heart was telling me, watch it, click on it. I click on it and it's like a 38-minute video. And now, although the entire video was mainly like a video sales letter to pitch me on a product that he was trying to sell me at the end, I knew in my heart that I could get something out of this. So I decided to follow through with what exactly he preached in the video, which is starting a marketing agency. And for 6 months, I was working on my marketing agency. Now you may think that since I have very incredible manifestation abilities, I could just manifest more money through that business like that. It's completely false. I used to think that, listen, if I could just have manifestation abilities, the rest will become easy. But I didn't realize I have to put one foot in front of the other intentionally so then I could get to that point where I have $15,000 in my bank. It didn't matter how much money I wanted to make. What mattered is me being intentional and creating a plan to get to that end destination. Me visualizing and feeling me having $15,000 in my bank put me in a position where starting a marketing agency is the opportunity to get that. Okay, that is the opportunity. Now, how do I get to the $15,000 itself? It's completely different. I needed a plan. And for 6 months, I had no plan. I was wasting time. Day in, day out, I was fluffing around, reaching out to a bunch of people who had nothing to do with each other. Like, I was pitching services to people who were completely different. I wasn't being specific with the person that I was helping. I wasn't being specific with the service that I was selling. And I wasn't being specific with the platform that I was gonna find clients on. So I was just jumping around. And that created so much misery. I was like, okay, maybe this is not for me. And at one point, I hit a breaking point. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, so I started to just cry it out. And then during my small crash out that I had within myself, I was like, wait a second, what is this? Everything that I'm experiencing right now is a complete reflection of my inner being, which means what's happening in the world outside of me is not the problem. The problem is me, and me overcomplicating everything, and me making everything horrible and bad and hard for myself. So let me just dumb it down, get rid of all the BS and focus on 3 things. 1, go back to the same inner state of being that I used to be in all the time. 2, pick one person that I was gonna help, pick one service I was gonna sell them, and pick one platform that I'm gonna find my dream clients through. And 3, me doing more inner work than outer work. That was my thesis. That was my plan. And that's exactly what I did. So for the next couple of days, I went back to my routines, my practices, until I started to actually feel inner peace within myself. I started to put one foot in front of the other, because that's what making money is all about, is putting one foot in front of the other. And slowly but surely, things started to unfold. I started to get more responses. More people would be interested, but they wouldn't book a call. They would just leave me unseen. Some people would be interested, book a call, but never show up. But then some people come on the call, show up, but never buy. You see how I'm getting closer and closer to my dream outcome? It's just I'm one person away now. So there's no turning back. I'm one person away, and I know it's close. I know he's close. And best believe one time, I texted a guy. He's like, I'm interested. books a call, shows up on a call. And best believe, I swear to God, within the first 5 minutes of the call, I knew that I'm gonna walk out that call with money in my account. I didn't know how much it was, I just knew that I'm gonna walk out of some money. Call goes perfectly fine. I get to know his needs. He wanted to build a live event to get more home construction projects, but he also wanted to get attention through advertising, and he needed my help doing that. And although I didn't know how to deliver on that, I knew how to bring all the pieces together to give him the final result. And of course, I gave him a game plan of how we're gonna do things, and at the end of the call, he was interested. He was like, I'm loving this. Okay, how much is this gonna cost? I'm like, okay, shit, what do I say? Do I say 3,000? Do I say 2,000? What do I say? How much do I say? And then I just dropped the ball and I say, listen. Of course, I say listen to myself. It's either go big or go home. So I said $5,000 startup fee, $3,000 a month management fee. He stays quiet for a couple of seconds and he goes, let's do it. I sent him the invoice and the contract. 2 days go by, nothing happens. I'm like, oh, it's not gonna work. But then I was sitting down, I was eating Jello, and while being on my phone and eating my Jello, I see a notification just drop down. $5,000 is on its way to your account. I said, what? The contract was signed shortly after for $5,000 setup fee, which he's sent already, and $3,000 management fee. So I worked with that guy for 4 months, totaling $14,000. Now, how did I get there and what I should have done differently to get there much faster? The first thing I would have done differently is making sure that the connection between mind and heart is never broken. The one way to break the mind and heart connection is by making sure you take action based off fear, doubt, or burning desire. You always go on the internet and people say, make sure you have a burning desire for the thing you want. If you have a burning desire for the thing that you want, that means you don't embody the spirit that is already meant for you. You don't embody the spirit that is already yours, which means with burning desire means doubt. And when you have doubt, you attract more circumstances that do not fit the script that you want to live in. And taking action based off fear and based off anxiety and worry, or trying to push so hard, that means instead of you taking steps forward, you take 10 steps backwards. We don't want that. We just want to be moving forward. So that's the first thing that I would do, is making sure that the connection between mind and heart is never broken. 2 ways to do that. First, do a body sensation, body awareness exercise where you lay down and you get in a comfortable position, and anything that happens in your body, you get an itch, don't worry about it. Don't tickle it. Don't tickle it. Don't scratch it. If you get something that's burning in your leg or any kind of sensation, really, any tingling, don't react to it. Just observe it. Let it be there. This will help you develop the discipline to take care of how your body reacts in the future with any situations that come up. That's the first thing. Now, the second way is making sure you also develop mind awareness. Again, lay down. This time, any thought that comes in, just let it be. Don't fight it. Don't judge it. Let it pass by. Don't try to force it to change into a different script. Let it as it is. Don't do anything about it. That's the first thing that I would do. Now, the second thing is making sure that I do not let my energy go to negative situations. You may have a fight with a parent or a friend, or something may come up. Worst way you could react to it is by either starting the battle or contributing to the battle. If you start the battle, you're willingly giving energy, which means you will most likely attract more of that into your life. We don't want that. We want something that's completely different from that. But if you contribute into an argument or into a battle, you will also attract more of that, and you will be off balance, and you will go back to your old frequency, which we don't want. We want the new frequency, the frequency that aligns with your desired reality, the reality that you're trying to manifest. And the third thing is making sure that I have a plan when I set the goal. Setting a goal of trying to make money and trying to manifest money doesn't come by luck. You will read books where there are many stories where it's like, I was walking down the street and I found $10,000 on the street, or a phone or a wallet that I gave back to its owner and he gave me $5,000. These do not work. Okay, you're trying to manifest money. First, you gotta pick a goal. Ideally be specific. The reason why I manifested $14,000 in the span of 4 months instead of one paycheck is because I wasn't specific. I just said I wanted to make $15,000. I wasn't specific with how fast I wanted to make it. I just said I want to make $15,000, and it came in $14,000 in 4 months, not in one paycheck. But if the story was different and I said I want to make $15,000 in a single month, perhaps I could have made that $15,000 in a single month back then. So ideally, you should be specific with the thing you're trying to achieve. And when you are specific, make sure you choose something that makes you feel good. One of the best ways to know if a goal is actually attainable or not is if it makes you feel good when you think about it. In your heart, if you think about something that makes you feel good, that's the right thing to do. Go for it. But if it makes you feel bad or doubt or uncertainty, do not go for it. So pick a goal that makes you feel good in your heart, and make sure you have a plan with that. Setting a goal just to make money isn't enough. You need to have a plan to put one foot in front of the other so you're able to achieve that desired outcome. But you may say, well, what if I don't know how to make that money? It's fine. It's fine. Just think about the goal itself, feel it, embody it, until eventually circumstances and events line up in your favor. So you're able to take action and achieve that outcome. That's how I've done it with the $14,000 client that I signed. I wanted to make $15,000, but I didn't know how I was going to make it. I kept thinking about it and embodying it until a At some point, I saw a video recommending one way to make money, and for some odd reason, that was the one calling that called me in. I took action on it, and it happened. Sure, it wasn't $15,000, but again, I said anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000. I got $14,000. So those are the 3 things that I wish I could have done differently. So what should be your takeaway from this? Well, I want you to understand that you can be, do, and have whatever you absolutely want. I'm dedicating this entire channel around manifesting money and how to create, I wouldn't say wealth, because the amount of money that I make is enough for me to support my mother, my brother, and my father. And that's something that I'm completely blessed to have. That's a responsibility that I'm completely blessed to have. So if you have any sort of ideas or any sort of topics that you want me to talk about, please comment them down below, because I am more than happy to answer all your questions.